गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ श्री राधे जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ श्री राधे निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय ताय पतित पावन गौर जय निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि जय निताय पतित पावन गौर जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हाय गौर सतना तेरे प्रेमानंदे हरे नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे को Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter number 16, Verse number 5. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपास्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दिनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् हरिर्नाम एव केवलं कलो नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. So, seeking blessings from all the assembled devotees, senior devotees, please bless me, please pray for me. I can speak something meaningful that I can apply in my life in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please forgive me if I say something that is beyond my adhikar. I'm just trying to repeat what I've heard and read. एष वे लोकपालानां बिभर्त्येकस्तनोतनुः काले काले यथा भागम् लोकयोरुभयोर्हितम् एष वे लोकपालानां बिभर्त्येकस्तनोतनुः काले काले यथा भागम् लोकयोरुभयोर्हितम् एष वे लोकपालानां बिभर्त्येकस्तनोतनुः काले काले यथा भागम् लोकयोरुभयोर्हितम्. Word for word. Eshaha, this king. Why? Certainly. Lokapalanam, of all the demigods, Vibharti bears, Ekaha alone, Tanu in his body, Tanu, the bodies, Kale Kale, in due course of time, Yatha, according to, Bhagam, proper share, Lokayo, of planetary systems, Ubhayo, both, Hitam, welfare. Translation and purport by Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. This king alone in his body, in his own body, will be able in due course of time to maintain all living entities and keep them in a pleasant condition by manifesting himself as different demigods to perform various departmental activities. Thus, he will maintain the upper planetary system by including the populace to perform Vedic sacrifices. In due course of time, he will also maintain this earthly planet by discharging proper rainfall. Purport. The demigods in charge of the various departmental activities that maintain this world are but assistants to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When an incarnation of Godhead descends to this planet, demigods like Sun God, the Moon God, or the King of Heaven, Indra, King of Heaven, Indra, all join him. Consequently, the incarnation of Godhead is able to act for the departmental demigods to keep the planetary systems in order. The protection of the earthly planet is dependent on proper rainfall. And as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the others and other scriptures, sacrifices are performed to please those demigods who are in charge of the rainfall. Annad bhavati bhutani parajanyadanya sambhava yajnad bhavati parajanyo yagna karma samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagna, sacrifice. And yagna is born of prescribed duties. Bhagavad Gita 3.14. Thus, the proper execution of yagna, sacrifice, is required. As indicated herein, King Pruthu alone would induce all the citizens to engage in such sacrificial activities so that there would not be scarcity of or distress. In Kali Yuga, however, in the so-called secular state, the executive branch of government is in charge of so-called so-called kings and presidents who are all fools and rascals, ignorant of the intricacies of nature's cause and ignorant of the principles of sacrifice. Such rascals simply make various plans which always fail, and the people subsequently suffer disturbances. To counteract this situation, the Shastras advise Harir Nam, Harir Nam eva kevalam, Kalo nasteva gatiranyatha. Thus, in order to counteract this unfortunate situation in government, the general populace is advised to chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bhagyantirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave. We read the translation one more time. This king alone, in his own body, will be able, in due course of time, to maintain all living entities and keep them in a pleasant condition by manifesting himself as different demigods to perform various departmental activities. Thus, he will maintain the upper planetary system by inducing the populace to perform Vedic sacrifices. In due course of time, he will also maintain this earthly planet by discharging proper rainfall. Again, seeking blessings from everyone. I have no qualification, realization to sit here and speak about Srimad Bhagavatam, but trying to serve in some small way. So Srila Prabhupada here starts with uh, the recognizing the recognizing the importance of demigods in charge of various departmental activities. But the demigods are nothing but just the support or the assistant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the purport and the translation, it is stated that demigods will, the Prithu Maharaj will expand into different demigods. And here, Srila Prabhupada says that whenever any incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, all the other demigods are there to basically, assist and do all the departmental duties, to make sure all the Leela, the pastimes of the Lord goes according to what is planned. And planetary system is in order, so on and so forth. So the protection of the earthly planet is dependent on proper rainfall. So heavenly planets um, or the higher planetary systems, according to this purport, Prithu Maharaj will induce them to do the Vedic sacrifices. Sacrifices that were stopped by King Vena. And for the same reason, all the earth planet, Mother Earth, was not producing because of so much of atrocities, so much of harassment to the saintly done by Vena. So Mother Earth was not producing, was holding things back because of the sinful activities. But now, for Earth to produce, there has to be enough rainfall, proper rainfall, the proper time. In the crop, if it rains at wrong time, then also things will get destroyed. The crop will get destroyed. So it is very important that the rain falls at the proper time. And Prabhupada here also states that according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita and different scriptures, when we perform sacrifice, when we perform yagna or perform the duties on time, proper duties, then those demigods who are in charge are pleased. And they provide the rain at the proper time and the proper amount. Prabhupada is also, quoting this Bhagavad Gita 3.14. So, thus the proper execution of yagna or sacrifice is required. So, it is important that we understand what is yagna or sacrifice. In some places, Srila Prabhupada also uses the word tapasya or voluntarily taking inconvenience for the pleasure of the Lord. Voluntarily um, doing things that are inconvenient, that are not so easy to do. We are all observing, we just observed Ekadashi yesterday, and today is a Dwadashi. So we have some understanding that when there is a fast, usually you would eat regular prasadam with grains and beans and dal and stuff like that. But on day of Ekadashi, we tend to refrain from grains and beans. And so it is different. It is not same as what we eat every day. But we know it is recommended in the scripture, Ekadashi, to follow Ekadashi is good for our spiritual health. It is good. So voluntarily we take up this vow that okay, whenever there is Ekadashi, I'll try to follow. With the idea about Ekadashi is um, the idea behind fasting is that we are so much engrossed in Krishna's service that we forget to eat and drink. But if we are not at that stage yet, so that we try to imbibe that mood and try to do more reading, more chanting, more some service that 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 pleases Krishna. Uh, I remember His Grace Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu from Toa, New Jersey. He always used to say that the day before Ekadashi, he would say like this: tomorrow is Ekadashi, so minimizing sleeping, eating, meeting, and defending, and maximizing spiritual activity, maximizing chanting and reading, like that he would say. So that is what is recommended for yagna. We are actually not in a position to do any of the yagya that is recommended by in the Treta Yuga or Dwapar Yuga earlier. No proper ingredients, no pure ingredients, and not the Brahmins that are supposed to perform the yagyas are also not pure in their pronunciation. So we cannot really do that fire sacrifices. But sacrifice with our duty, with our work, with our intention, the mood that my body or my activities are my, sacrifice or ahuti. For what? For pleasing Krishna. And best of all yagya is yagya. Best of all yagya is which yagya? Sankirtan yagya. So this japa nam jape yagnosmi, yagna nam jape yagnosmi. In Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagavan Krishna says, best form of yagya is japa yagya, or chanting Krishna's name, chanting my name. And by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, or Prabhupada's mercy, we are introduced to this a wonderful process of Krishna consciousness, where we do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Keep Krishna in the center. If we work, if we have family, we raise family, we have house that is for Krishna. This is Krishna's house entrusted to me, Krishna's family, Krishna's children entrusted to me. With that mood, if we try to serve, then it is perfect. If we take Krishna out of the equation, then things really don't go according to what we are supposed to. What we are supposed to do or how we should be acting, how we should be behaving in this world based on the simple principle or understanding about oneself is that I am not this body, I'm spirit, soul, and part and parcel of Krishna, and my constitutional position is to serve Krishna. But in doing so, it just doesn't happen artificially. We have to train ourselves because from time immemorial, we have been trying to enjoy separately from Krishna. And this is where we are in one fine day. It's not like a switch, it will just start on. And each one of you who is trying to practice Krishna consciousness or being associated with Krishna consciousness, rest assured, Krishna has given this opportunity based on our previous activities. It is not just by some kind of a accident or a fluke that we are serving in whatever capacity we are serving. But to be associated with Krishna's service is a very glorious position. We are always surrounded by devotees when we come to temples, so we take things for granted and not value it as much. But this is most magnanimous. This is most wonderful. The association of the devotees and to be in presence of the devotees that are practicing Krishna consciousness. This is rarest of the rare, you know. Now, in the next part of the purport, in Kali Yuga, however, is so-called secular state, the executive branch of government is in charge of so-called kings and presidents, who are all fools and rascals, ignorant of the intricacies of nature's causes and ignorant of the principles of sacrifice. Srila Prabhupada here very, strongly says that the current chaos, this is written about 50 years back, maybe 60, 50, 60 years back. And Srila Prabhupada is saying about governmental agencies and individuals who think they are in charge and this earth is for their enjoyment and they can excavate or do whatever they want to do with earth for their own enjoyment, but they don't understand that there are laws beyond their control, their understanding. So if we don't understand the higher laws, that there is someone in charge and we are entrusted, we are given the charge or as we go along, if we continue to deteriorate or abuse the earth, that is not what it is for. We are not given this earth to abuse. We are given the earth to nurture and get nourished by replenishing or making sure that we are not abusing or doing things that are contrary to the nature's law. we have seen in last so many years um, how temperatures are rising, all kinds of natural calamities are coming up, just because the humans are basically completely unaware of what is really what is really expected of them, how to really lead a life of sattva gun. And we have come so far away from our Vedic civilization. And I was listening to, it was Devamrita Maharaj was who he was sharing a few years back. I was listening that all these developed countries are creating so much of waste, right? And so much of abuse and excavation, and the Earth planet is really in a very, very bad shape. Now, after all of that, they realize that, oh, this is not going in a positive direction. So they kind of try to reduce the amount of waste and excavations and all that. But then the developing nations who aspire to be developed, now most of the resources from the earth is already been taken by these developed nations, and these developing nations want to want to become like the developed nation. So Maharaj was saying in a funny way that they just came to the party and they saw the party is already over, because all the food is gone, all the natural resources that they're supposed to properly be distributed and properly utilized. Instead, only few nations have utilized it all, and the rest of the world is basically bereft of it. So that is the current modern day situation. Srila Prabhupada was sharing the other day that they call it United Nations or any such organizations, that he was giving the example of the few people wants to go and rob the bank, and they go rob the bank, and then after whatever the money they get, they are saying, okay, now we will honestly distribute this. So he's saying the basis of their activity or the whole thing is initial thing is itself dishonesty. How they can distribute the money equally or honestly. We are we are living the life we are seeing all around us. That is what is happening. That people are saying something, doing something else. General public really doesn't know what is going on out there with this state heads and individuals who are making decisions on behalf of general populace. I have shared this in the past, but I would like to share it again. Devamrit Maharaj was traveling from New Zealand to some place, and there was an ex-prime minister of New Zealand was sitting next to him, and he was sharing that the politics is kind of open to all. Anyone can join. But those who are in charge, they make it in such a way that general population, they don't let them think anything other than just day to day activity. Just to meet their ends, they'll make them struggle so hard so they don't think anything out of the box. Everyone is thinking about how am I going to live my life tomorrow? How do I earn money tomorrow? Maximum, they're going to think about what other, expensive thing I'm going to buy. They allure with all kinds of, allurements. You don't have this, you'll be miserable. So, so consumerism, wanting people to buy things. And on top of that, there is music, film, games, all these other kind of, in the name of entertainment, so many distractions. So he was saying that where will they have time to think that we are being utilized or used for the for the satisfaction, or we are just utilized as tools for others, those who are in charge, on their behalf. So he was saying that literally this is the policy employed everywhere, not just in New Zealand, but anywhere. Doesn't matter what economy, which ruling party, what ruling party is ruling, and what strategy they apply for the economic development or the welfare. Always the rich gets richer and poor gets poorer. That is the, if we go back in the history, that has been happening. With this, having all kinds of negative things around, but we are very fortunate that we have this Krishna consciousness, that we have access to, and getting this, getting the opportunity to serve Krishna, getting the opportunity to, you know, imbibe the mood of our predecessor acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Vargas, that against all odds, they go out, distribute, Krishna consciousness. And we have, if we want to make our lives successful, we have to do the same. First, get ourselves fully plugged in. As Vaisheshika Prabhu always says, preaching is something that is not done just as artificially. He says preaching or sharing Krishna consciousness happens. It is like you have a cup and you start pouring in your bhakti or your services. And once that cup is full, whatever is pouring out, that is your preaching. That is your sharing with everyone around us. If our cup, our own bhakti is not so strong or serious, and we are not enjoying so much practicing this, we cannot really share it with others, right? So that is the fundamental uh, requirement, that we ourselves enjoy serving Krishna. We ourselves get the pleasure, feel the happiness in serving Krishna. Then it is automatic. Then it is automatic, because this Mahaprabhu says that I have so much, as a gardener, he has so much of this fruits of Krishna consciousness, and he has only two hands. He needs all hands that he can get to distribute this bhakti. So we have a great task at our hand, sharing Krishna consciousness with the rest of the world. But charity begins from home. We have to be happy and healthy and convinced that there is no other shelter than Krishna. And following this Krishna consciousness in the loving association of the devotees is the only way we are going to make an advancement. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that is what I prepared to speak on this verse that comes to mind. But here, yesterday was Devananda Pandit's, was it a disappearance day?
Yeah.
It was disappearance day of Devananda Pandit. So I tried to look it up. So I'm going to read about Devananda Pandit from the Gaudiya history. A very nice website by ISKCON Desiratory. So living in Kulia during Sri Chaitanya's pastimes, Sri Devananda Pandit gave professional readings of Srimad Bhagavatam, tainted with Mayavad philosophy. One day, Srivas Pandit heard his Bhagavad Katha, began crying, and fell to the ground. Becoming disturbed by this display, the foolish disciples of Devananda threw Srivas out of the assembly. By silently observing this misbehavior of his disciples, Devananda committed the Hathi Matta Aparad, the mad elephant offense of blaspheming a pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Later, by the mercy of Vakreshwar Pandit, an intimate devotee of Sri Gaurarai, Devananda understood the divinity of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and surrendered to him. The Lord pardoned his offense and blessed him with bhakti. He serves in Krishna Lila as Bhaguri Muni. Now I try to find out who is Bhaguri Muni. Anyone knows who is Bhaguri Muni? Anyone on Zoom, do they know who is Bhaguri Muni? So I went to this who is who, and Devananda Pandit is a Bhaguri Muni in Krishna Lila, who is the chief priest of Nanda Maharaj. So that's the information or more detail about Devananda Pandit. I think that is it. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve Srimad Bhagavatam. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। Anyone has any question or comment? Please share. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Huh? Who is saying? Sandeep Prabhu. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you. We will end the pause here. Hare